Hello, it's Christine, and welcome to my channel, Hollis Create. Today is Tuesday, December 15th, and this is episode 21. This is my channel, which is primarily about cross stitch. Occasionally I've got a few other crafts that I will throw in, but today we're going to talk primarily about cross stitch. If you are a returning viewer, thank you so much, and I'm glad that you're back with me. If you're new to my channel, I hope that you'll find a few things that maybe inspire you today, and you'll subscribe and come back and join me again. So without further ado, let's begin. First of all, I want to say thank you so much. I hit over 2,000 subscribers. That is just such a blessing, and it's kind of crazy. My kids are always like, "Way to go, Mom," and they think it's kind of amusing, I believe. The days are flying by. My little new granddaughter, Alaska Rose, is almost 1 month. She'll be 1 month old on Thursday, which is just crazy, and it's so tough to not be able to see her. We've been doing some video chatting, and I'll insert one quick little picture of her. A screenshot that I snagged today. We were video chatting just a little bit before I sat down to film, and as soon as my daughter turned on the top camera, and I of course was saying Alaska, and then so she could see me, and we got a smile, and I just was so thrilled, primarily because I was able to actually screenshot it and snag a picture of the smile. So I am going to insert one little picture of her and to share. So anyway, she's just so sweet. Obviously, season decoration change. We all made it through Thanksgiving, headed to Christmas really quickly, right? I didn't pull down all of my seasonal cross stitch to show you, but what I'm going to do is I took some pictures of the vignettes that I create with my decorating, and a lot of it has cross stitch in it, and I'll just insert those at the end. So if you want to see that, you can stay tuned to the end of the video. So let's see. Quite a few things going on. As some of you know, I'm having a surgery this coming Thursday, the 17th, to remove some cancer. It'll be unfortunately on my face. We'll see how that goes. So I've had to close the shop, which was kind of really a bit of a bummer, but I had to close to make sure that all of the orders that I had received over the weekend I was able to get out the door. I usually can pack about anywhere from 40 to 50 orders a day and get those out, but there's been days when I've been getting maybe twice that amount in orders, and so it might take you 2 days to get just that 1 day's orders out. So I didn't want to be caught with too many before I could get them out the door, before I had to be out of commission. And it was kind of, like I said, it was kind of a bummer because I finally had received the lovely Winds of Autumn book by Blackburn Designs, and it came to the door on Friday, and I held off as long as I could on closing the shop, which was a good thing because I would say a good half of my order was all ordered up really quickly in the first 2 days, and then I had to shut down. The good news is if you didn't pre-order, and if you weren't able to get one, or you were on the fence, or maybe right now you want to spend your money on Christmas things rather than some cross-stitch things, when I reopen, I'm going to have the other half of that order. And obviously I can always order more, but these will be ready to go right out the door as soon as I get to open back up. 12 projects, and look at that sampler. Really just beautiful. And the cool thing is the ever popular Reward of Merit patterns they have included. So there's Bittersweet September, there's Spell of the Moon is in here, October 31st is in here. I think there's a couple others. So that's kind of, so if you weren't, you know, able to get those, you can get them all in just that one book. So moving on, let's see. I got 2 framed pieces back from Total Framing that I was just beyond excited about. The first one was my Union Forever that I stitched. This is Blackburn Designs adaptation of a Maggie Bononami pattern. And I really, really love this. I just wanted a very primitive, kind of rough looking frame to match that design. And the ladies at Total Framing just did great. Now that one, I do not have any glass on. This one is my Jenny Bean Friendship Sampler. And I just am so happy with the work. Now this one has conservation glass on it, but you would hardly know that. And in looking at it, the job that they did is just fantastic. I mean, I stitched this on 36 count. Every strand of thread is exactly lined up. There is no variations, no wiggles. I mean, it is just, they just did a beautiful, beautiful job, and very happy with it. So highly recommend Total Framing. So I've got those back. The next thing that I wanted to just quick share with you were just a few whips. I've only been working on a couple of things since we last spoke. Let's see, I think last time I filmed was maybe the week prior to Thanksgiving. And so I had a Thanksgiving start, which was my Hannan Tingy or Hannan Tingey. I've heard it said both different ways, from the Scarlett house. And I am stitching mine on 46 count buttercream by Lakeside. And there's my progress. It is very overcast here today, of course. Yesterday when I couldn't film, it was beautifully sunny outside, but today it's very overcast, so lighting is a little rough today. But basically, I was able to get this corner done. But look at the bird. I absolutely love that bird. He's really cool. And it's kind of funny, this 46 count. I thought it was 40 count, and that's what I had intended to stitch on. And I have I'm using all the called for NPI silks. And I got this out and I started stitching and I was like, wow, these are really tight. And I kept working on this border a little bit and I was like, I don't think this is 40 count. So I went into my fabric closet and I pulled out I always usually try to buy Lakeside linen in a fat half, and I pulled out the remainder of the fabric and I looked at the tag and it looks like a 0, but if you look closely, it's really a 6. So I'm not sure if I ordered 40 and they sent 46 because they did the same thing, or I'm not sure. But anyway, I thought, you know what, I'm gonna keep going. And I have to say, I was kind of afraid of 46 as I was. I'm really loving it. And the color saturation is just beautiful. And I'm just very, very happy with it. It keeps blowing out and I'm sorry about that. So anyway, so that is Hannan. I tend to say Hannan Tingy, 1823 from the Scarlett house. That is part of a stitch along. Christy at Crosshatch Quilts, I believe Carol at Saltbox, Stitcher, we're all using Hannan Tingy 1823 Sal. So if you want to join, jump in and join. I'll be picking that one actually back up starting tonight. After I started that, I stitched on that one for about a week, And then December 1st, I had planned a start on Heartstring Samplery. Baby, It's Cold Outside. And I finished it last night. And I'm very happy with that. Now, right now, it's just sitting in this open frame. Like I said, I finished this last night. Oh, let's see if I could kind of turn it a little bit to see. Yeah, that's a little bit closer actually to the fabric. Stitched it on Victorian Rose Colonial Sampler, which is a 40 count. So I had pulled some open frames that I got at clearance at Hobby Lobby. This one was actually $24.99 regular price, and it was reduced down to, in the clearance aisle for $2.49. So I had gone out to my big tub of framing types of things, pulled out 2 or 3, and I am pretty happy with how that looks. I think that's going to look really well. So I've kind of just, like I said, got it propped in here for now, and I will go back and stretch it, appropriately, and lace it, and get it finished, get it in that frame. So I'm very happy. So that was started December 1st, and I finished it on December 14th. So I did have one interruption of about 3 days in the middle of stitching Baby, and that was because Kathy Haberman from Hands On Design put out a little freebie called Berries in Bloom, and when I saw that, I was just like, oh, that is so cute. And so here's mine. Now I stitched mine on stonewashed. I think it's 36 or 40 count. I can't remember the count. I think it's 36 count stonewashed by Seraphim Fabrics. So it can look a little grayish, it can look a little blue. It just kind of depends upon the light that it's in. And I wanted just to put this in my trencher bowl, which I'll have a picture of at the end. And so I didn't attach any kind of an ornament thing because I'm not going to hang it on anything. So I just picked out some, look at that, some fabric for the back. Finished it on 2 4-inch mat board discs, and I was very happy with it. And I just put that into my trencher bowl of goodies. So that was, you can still get that on Kathy's website, I believe. And if you go to her business Instagram, Hands On Design, in her profile, you can go in and you can find it. And I just downloaded it to, my iPad and then stitched it right off my iPad. And literally, I probably put maybe 3 hours total into the whole thing, stitched and from stitch to finished. Very quick, but very fun and a really cute, project to do. So that's all I really worked on since we last spoke. I've got some plans. Hannah will be coming back out starting tonight, now that I've finished Baby It's Cold Outside. So I'll be working on Hannah. Now, starting on Thursday, I don't know that I'll be able to wear my glasses for a little while, so I won't be stitching. I actually have downloaded several books on Audible, and I think probably what I'll do is to the surgery center that day. My husband's not allowed to go in with me, so I'll be in by myself, and they said to expect to be there from about, probably 6 to 8 hours. So I just take my earbuds, and I'm listening right now to the Diaries of Anne Frank. Pam from Just Keep Stitching had posted her book review of the audio version. And that was one book that I just didn't read. I remember it being on the reading list when I was a kid. And again, even like I was in honors English and things like that, and just never managed to read that book. And so I thought, you know what, that I'm going to listen. And so I'm actually already started with it. I'm probably halfway. I think it's about 9 hours long when you're reading or listening to the audio version. And I'm about halfway through. So I'm not planning on the stitching, but I am hoping to do, you know, a lot of listening for my reading for the next few days until I can see what the situation's going to be with being able to have my glasses on and to be able to see. I know after my mom's surgery that she was pretty swollen. The eyes were blacked and the nose was, you know, obviously pretty swollen. So putting on glasses for her wasn't really something. I wish I could wear contacts. I've tried, but I just can't seem to tolerate them. So, so my plans will just be to work on Hannan for the next couple of nights. Hopefully bring her back out once I think I can tolerate that. And then until Christmas, I have kind of, you know, like nothing major. Hoping that by Christmas Day, that will be my start on Brenda Gervais' Winter Rose Manor, that I am going to be stitching with my good friend Becky, Socks for Mom. And there's Winter Rose Manor. I'm sure everybody has seen this. It's extremely popular. Everybody's stitching it or getting ready to stitch it or has just finished stitching it. And I am going to be stitching mine on Winter White. Trying not to blow that out. I apologize for the lighting, you guys. But it's Winter White. It actually looks a little more gray than cream, which is what I wanted. She had done this on dirty linen originally, and then with the release of this book, R&R did a fabric for her called Brenda's Brew. But again, it's kind of hard to find, and I'm really happy with this piece of Winter White. And again, that's a Seraphim fabric that I'm going to be doing mine on, and it is, I believe, a 40 count. Looking over my project card. Yes, it's a 40 count. So that will be my Christmas Day start. I'm going to put that back in my bag. Looking forward to that. So I'm going to be stitching on that all the way till January 1st. And then I have, this is going to be crazy, I have 3 New Year's Day starts planned. Now, mind you, I'm not going to be doing a tremendous amount. I'll be on each. I'll just be getting some stitches in. But we're not going to have any of our kids here for New Year's. Since my middle daughter, Savannah, has been out of college and working the last several years, she usually just tries to come, you know, for Christmas, because she's not lived with us and has not lived anywhere near us since she's been out of college, and now she's in Seattle. So last year, she did come right before Christmas and stayed until January 2nd because she works in hockey, and she got us all tickets to the Winter Classic, which is played on New Year's Day and happened to be held here in Dallas between the Dallas Stars and the Nashville Predators. She actually had worked for both of those organizations. She did all of her undergrad work for 4 years, I believe. Maybe 3 years. 2 years of undergrad and 1 year of her master's work with the Nashville Predators, so she knew that organization. And then her second year of her master's work, she worked for the Stars organization. So, and then now she works for the Seattle Kraken, which is the new expansion team. And so she was able to get just really fantastic tickets to the Classic, and so she stayed through New Year's, and we went to the Classic, and she flew home. This time she's going to have to go back like on the 28th. And my older daughter, of course, having just had a baby, won't be coming stateside this year, which has really been an adjustment. This is the very first year. She's almost 31. She'll be 31 in February. This will be the very first time we've not spent Christmas with her. She said today earlier, she said it just doesn't even feel like Christmas. On the strange side about that, she's been with Paolo since she's 18, so 12 years. They've been married for almost 8 years, and this will be their very first Christmas ever to spend together. he owns part owner in 2 different club/restaurants, and you know, Christmas time is their big time of the year, and so he was always working and basically would just be off for Christmas Eve to do a Christmas Eve Mass with his mother, and then go right to work, and then work, you know, on Christmas as well, definitely up through New Year's. So Brittany would always fly home and have Christmas with us. So it's going to be an adjustment, you know, it's going to be so quiet. It's just my husband and I. So I'm figuring New Year's Day, I'm stitching all day long. I'll get all 3 starts in. My first start, I'll just show you these real quick, is going to be, and this is again something I'm stitching with Becky. We had agreed we were going to stitch this Manor at Peacock Hill. I'll show you. By Brenda Gervais, by Needle and Thread. We had agreed we would stitch this one after we finished at First Cock Crow, which was our birthday stitch, and we both finished that. And so now we had agreed that, you know, January 1st we were going to stitch the Peacock. So very excited about that one. And then Pam Schaffner from Just Keep Stitching had posted, or maybe talked about on one of her Flosstubes with stuff, about stitching Let Freedom Ring, and she was thinking of doing that as her New Year's Day start. And I was very excited by that prospect, because I actually have had Let Freedom Ring kitted up for probably 4 years. My husband is from the Philadelphia area, and when we were looking for things to decorate his work office with, not here at the house, but it's actually in his office, he had purchased some really cool panorama type art from Philadelphia, because he kind of wanted to do his office in Philly themed. And so I had bought this and had it kitted all up because I wanted to stitch it for him for his office. And so when she started talking about that, I was like, you know what, I'm gonna join in. So if you want to join in and stitch Let Freedom Ring by Lila Studios, definitely join in. It'll be fun. Now this one's gonna take a while. But there's no rules. The hashtag is Stitch for Freedom, and just join in anytime. No rules, no, you know, it's just kind of jump in, stitch when you want, and finish when you can. So that's gonna be fun. And then my third one, I actually don't have a picture to show you. I belong to the Tudor Rose Guild here in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. And we had our 20th anniversary this year, and we had a very big surprise at our December meeting. My good friend Michelle, who's Cozy Egg here on Flosstube and on Instagram, she has spent a year doing an adaptation and a reproduction, 2 different charts of a beautiful sampler that one of our other members, Shelley, had purchased from Nicola, and they presented the chart to the guild members. And so there are a lot of us who are going to be stitching either the reproduction or the adaptation starting on January 1st. So that will be my third one, is to work on Sarah. Now that chart, of course, will be just available to, you know, the Tudor Rose Guild members for the first year before it's actually released. But it's an absolutely beautiful sampler with all the goodies in it. It's got a basket, it's got a butterfly, it's got a house, it's got, I mean, it's really beautiful. It's got all the goodies. So looking forward to that. So those are my immediate plans to get me through, you know, New Year's. And then I've been, you know, I showed you last time and we talked about that, and this was the plans and how I'm doing mine. And after lots of scribbling out and changing and adding and figuring out what I'm going to do, I think I have a pretty good plan for 2021. as long as I don't have too many squirrels. But I have 12 new starts and I have 12 whips. And those 24 projects are going to be my focus for 2021. Now, I also listed out 4 smalls that I want to stitch because I know that working on all of these kind of medium to large projects, I'm going to need a finish here and there, something quick. And so I pulled 4 little smalls that I kind of also want to stitch, and so I have those listed. And but anyway, that's going to be my plan. So now what I've been doing is going in and assigning when I want to have each of those new starts. So January 1st, obviously, will be Let Freedom Ring, Manor at Peacock Hill, and Sarah. So I was like, okay, that's a lot of starts. So I think that's going to also then be my February start as well, those 2. And that way I give, or those 3, so that way I give them some love that's actually somewhat significant. Then March 1st, I have an old Blackbird designed loose feathers chart that I bought, gosh, a lot of years ago, and I just never have stitched it. And I kitted it up last year, and it's Where My Heart Blooms. And on my anniversary, my husband and I, our anniversary is in March. We'll be married 35 years. And so I'm gonna start Where My Heart Blooms to commemorate our anniversary. And that'll be March 1st. Then I kind of looked at some of my others. I was like, well, come into my garden. I love gardens, I love flowers, I love planting them. So, and April is such, that's the time when you really go into town with that. So I'm gonna stitch or start Come Into My Garden from Blackbird Designs, April 1st. Then I'm not gonna do a May, well, I am actually gonna do, I'm gonna do 2 in May. May 1st, I'm going to start Sarah Brown. And I'm going to show you Sarah Brown because she also is part of my stash enhancement for this episode. Sarah Brown is by the Scarlett letter, and she's a memorial sampler. And it says Sarah Brown made this sampler to the memory of Joseph Brown, her brother, finished in the 10th year of her age, September 21, 1834. I'm going to stitch this also for my brother. My brother Dale passed away at the age of 49. His birthday was May 1st, and he passed away on May 22nd. So when I saw this particular sampler, and also that it's done in very autumnal type colors, and that was his favorite thing. His home was a log home. He really liked that rustic, and I saw it, and it just seemed to fit absolutely perfect. So I'm going to stitch this one for my brother on May 1st. And so then, in keeping with what I did with the new constellation and my plans to have all 3, Heritage Sampler, a new constellation, and then the new one that's coming out this next spring from Plum Street Samplers, I'm going to start on Memorial Day, Heritage Sampler. So it'll be at the end of May. So it will be 2. So then I'm gonna skip a June 1st start. So, cause that will kind of be my June 1st start. And then in July, I'm a Brenda Keys Sampler Company fan. And I finally picked up the Red House Sampler after admiring this for quite some time. And I finally got it, and that is going to then be my July start. In August, I'm going to be starting Harriet Taylor by the Scarlett House. In September, All Joys for Thine by Blackbird Designs. It's kind of it almost looks a little Christmassy, so if I do it early, that might be good, and I have it done for the holiday season. And I'm not going to have another start then in October, because at that point I'm feeling like October might be a good catch-up month. November, I'm going to start Turkey Bay from Plum Street Samplers. And December 1st, this is another one that I just purchased. And That is the Noel Sampler by Brenda Gervais with fine needle and thread. And I actually got the whole kit from the Country Sampler. I am going to obviously use the DMC, but they've included, I believe they included Weeks, yes, Weeks 36 count tin roof. And I don't think I'm gonna stitch it on 36 count. I wanna stitch it on a 40 count. So I believe I will probably pull some cedar plank. That's kind of the plan for that, but I have until December to fully decide that. So there you saw some three of my stash enhancement charts that I was going to show you, and you also got to kind of hear my plans. So with that being said, since I'm planned 2021 and I'm really going to try my best to stick with this, I probably won't do a Mania. I think I'll do a 2021 Mania and stick with what I've done, and I'll be good. So, and since I showed you my plans, let's do the giveaway, because I had asked everybody on my last video for your plans. And I had some great comments. Some people were funny. They're like, I don't plan anything. I just, you know, and then other people don't make plans because they pick one thing and they're monogamous. They work with that one thing. They're just really great comments. As usual, I enjoyed reading your comments. So after much ado, I'll show you. I had given you, or the chance to win, the Cross Stitch Journal, which is a 50 project sheets planner. So you can plan out your projects. And also, because we love this time of the year, from Country Cottage Needleworks, the most wonderful time of year chart to go with it. So I'm giving you a book and something to put right into the book. And the winner of that was Maureen Lopez. Maureen Lopez. I'll insert the shot that I used from the random comment picker. Congratulations, Maureen. If you will message me with the email information that I have in the comment or the description box below with your mailing address, I will get your prize right out to you. And thank you so much for participating, everybody. I really appreciated it. I had the most views on this last video that I've ever had on any, and it was just very exciting, and I was very appreciative of it. And thank you again. And congratulations again to Maureen. So I'm gonna just move on here real quickly to just a little bit more of stash enhancement that I had picked up. And because I had already shown you those three, which were the ones I had gone out shopping for, and as we know, no chart can travel alone, I ended up picking up a couple more. Here's another one that I picked up. This is more a Blackburn. This is Three Things Sampler. And I just love that house. Again, I'm kind of a sucker for the verse. It's three things there are that will never come back. The arrow shot forth on its destined track, the appointed hour that could not wait, and the helpful word that was spoken too late. So I really like that sampler. Then from the Scarlett letter, as I was looking at that memorial sampler, I happened to see Sarah Brignall and really loved her too. She's beautiful. She looks like, when you look at her, she looks like she would be complicated, but it's actually just cross stitch, some back stitch, and a very small amount of counted thread satin stitch. So really beautiful. The colors really drew me to that one. And again, while I was perusing the Scarlett letter, I happened to see Jane Howe. Love a yellow house. she's really, really beautiful as well. So, got Jane Howe. And while I was looking for the Red House sampler, I happened to see the Townhouse sampler. I love those trees. This is from Brenda Keys and the Sampler Company. I have probably 10 or 12 of her charts. She just really is just a really beautiful designer. And then from Victorian Rose Needle Arts, Tinka, Jane Baxter. And I was inspired by Carol Saltbox Stitcher when she's stitching this turkey. And I just loved it, so I went out immediately and got that one. That was an impulse buy. The others, I kind of was looking specifically for a chart, and then no chart could travel alone, so I ended up with a couple more extras. And then because I got some of these, I had to get a couple of new project bags. Look at that glorious bag. Isn't that beautiful? Look at that. This is from Elizabeth at the Silver Scissor Project Bags. Now, she posted this on Instagram, and I follow her, and she posted it up and said, you know, bag going into my shop. She has an Etsy shop, the Silver Scissor, boy, say that fast 3 times. And so I immediately clicked, went right to her, you know, bio, right into her shop, and as soon as it was there, I purchased it. I am a sucker for this type of project bag with the quilted blocks. I just really, really love it, and it's just very well made. And then, of course, Christy from Crosshatch Quilts. I was very lucky in the melee that ensued when she had her sale on Instagram a couple weeks ago. I got lucky and got the very last bag. Boy, you have to have a fast connection. Your phone has to really be moving quickly to be able to get one of her bags. But she used the Swell, I believe this is the Swell Santa collection. And I'm a sucker for that time period, this 50s, 60s Santa. And I just love that. And then just a really nice holly inside. So I was very excited to be able to get one of Christy's bags from Crosshatch Quilts. So pretty excited about those. Really, I'm kind of a sucker for project bags. I can make my own, but I don't know. I think it's just sometimes easier just to buy them. I just don't seem to have a tremendous amount of time to sit down and do that. And if I'm going to sit down, I typically just want to stitch or crochet. So anyway, so I got those bags. That was very exciting. And if you want to, you know, watch either one of those ladies, follow them on Instagram, then that's the best way that you're going to be able to score one of their bags. But you got to have fast fingers. I'm just telling you, fast fingers. So, okay, well, we're about 38 minutes. I'm gonna let you go. Thank you so much. I've had a couple people reach out to offer their prayers for my procedure that's coming up on Thursday, and I'm very grateful for that. I thank you so much. You know, it might be a little while before I'm back on. Just as a reminder, if you see something funny on your skin, if you see something that grows up and it wasn't there before, have it checked. Don't wait. Make sure you wear your sunscreen. More than likely, like the dermatologist said to me, and the surgeon as well, the plastic surgeon, this was from burns. They tell you the burns you get as a kid and a teenager are the burns that do the damage. You know, back when I was a teenager, we were slathering baby oil on and putting sun in or lemon juice in our hair and laying right out in the sun. Clearly I don't do that anymore. But make sure that you check and that you take care of yourself. And I thank you so much. I hope everyone has a blessed holiday season. Merry Christmas. and Happy New Year. Thank you.